Let's get more information on this, more context on this now, and welcome in the former acting director of national intelligence at the White House, Richard Grenell. He's also the former U.S. ambassador to Germany. Rick, great to see you again.
Nice to see you. Thanks for having me.
So this is a big deal. Talk to us and give us some context here on how big you think this is in terms of, our decades-long pursuit of peace in the Middle East.
Well, look, this is historic because it's a Trump administration realist policy, trying to figure out how to move peace forward. I'd like to actually thank Barack Obama and Joe Biden for their contribution to this peace deal. As we know, Joe Biden was the brains for foreign policy in the Obama-Biden administration. If it wasn't for Joe Biden, we wouldn't have this peace deal today, because what Joe Biden did by coddling up to the Iranian regime and giving them billions of dollars really scared the Middle East and our partners in the Middle East.
Right.
They saw a U.S. policy really darting towards the Iranians and having a weak policy towards the Iranians. Now what has been created is the rest of the region has really decided that they got to have a stronger policy from the Americans. The Trump administration policy of tough sanctions on the Iranians and the combination of really targeting the Soleimani regime part in Iran, which was the killer part, it really sent a strong message to our partners that the Trump administration is going to be realist and they're going to push for peace. And I think that what we've seen here today is an admission from our partners in the Middle East that they have to move away from this Obama-Biden era policy in the Middle East.
Right. Yeah.
And embrace the Trump strong, targeted policy. At the same time, let me just add very quickly, a policy where President Trump is bringing our troops home and trying to use America's foreign policy in a way that utilizes all of the tools that we have at our disposal without putting boots on the ground every single time.
Yeah, both President Obama and President Trump promised to bring our troops home. Only one of those presidents has done more to do that, and that being President Trump. And, it was almost having to squint my eyes, Rick, and read this again, that the UAE is now the first Gulf Arab state to have formally established these ties with Israel. It's been a long time coming and a big step forward. I also want to dig in a little bit more to Joe Biden's foreign policy and Kamala Harris's resume on foreign policy as well. So bear with me, Rick, because I'm going to set this up for about a minute here for the audience here for some context here. Of course, they both slammed the Trump administration yesterday during their first joint appearance. Take a listen to that.
And then we're going to get to work fixing the mess that President Trump and Vice President Pence have created, both at home and abroad, through 4 years of mismanagement and coddling of terrorists and thugs around the world.
Yeah, so that's Biden saying that the Trump administration is coddling terrorists and thugs around the world. Harris later said America is crying out for better leadership.
This is a moment of real consequence for America. Everything we care about, our economy, our health, our children, the kind of country we live in, it's all on the line. America is crying out for leadership. Yet we have a president who cares more about himself than the people who elected him.
Now, we know a lot about Biden's stance on foreign policy, and it's not great based on what Rick just told us and everything that's out there on it. And also, former Obama Defense Secretary Robert Gates said Biden got pretty much everything wrong. Here's an exact quote from Gates, who appeared on CBS's Face the Nation back in May of 2019. Joe Biden has, quote, been wrong on nearly every major foreign policy and national security issue over the past 4 decades. So, Rick, as we look at this, how can Joe Biden sit up there with a straight face and accuse President Trump of coddling terrorists when it was Joe Biden, pretty much the only voice in the room, in the Situation Room that night, who told President Obama, don't go on the bin Laden raid, it's too risky?
Yeah, look, we just have a fundamentally different view of the world. Joe Biden wants the United States to be the capital of the world. And what the reality is that Donald Trump wants Washington, D.C. to be the capital of the United States. And that we are not going to necessarily wait around for world consensus. And that's what Joe Biden wants to do, is he wants the Europeans and others to water down our policy so that we have this kind of lowest common denominator of foreign policy. And it turns into jello. It turns into ineffective UN-style programs. And so what President Trump is saying is that we have to have strings attached to our foreign policy. If we're going to give hundreds of millions of dollars to countries or regions, we have to be able to say that that money is working. And so Donald Trump has put strings on our foreign policy. And when we have a situation like the WHO or other UN programs where it's not working, Donald Trump says, I'm not going to pay for it. I'm going to pull out. Now, those are strings attached to foreign policy. Now, I will tell you, the Obama-Biden era, and certainly the Biden-Harris administration, would do the same thing, which is give the money, be nice, put no strings on it, try to work behind the scenes to make it better, but don't don't make strings attached to your money. Don't demand that if there aren't changes to programs that we would cut the money. And so we just have two fundamentally different views of the world.
Yeah, it's a stark contrast, just like on so many other issues. And as you pointed out, Rick, without the stick, a carrot is just a carrot. Great to see you.
Thank you.
Newsmax TV is now America's fastest growing cable news channel. We give you the real news you need. So subscribe to our YouTube channel and give us a thumbs up. If you like this video, share it with your friends. Newsmax TV streams live on YouTube for free. Newsmax TV, real news for real people.